Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, we're going to be looking at some extension candidates for the Silver and Black post-June 1st. I know Jeremy Chuggs and we've been talking a lot about which players that the Las Vegas Raiders could sign with all this extra money that we're about to get from cutting Jimmy Garoppolo $24.07. But Telesco said this offseason, he wants to take care of his own. You know, it's a good way to be able to prove that you're going to be able to back up the words that you're saying. You go out and you take care of your own. You got plenty of players that you could do that with. So the show that I'm putting through together today, the Raiders are about to have about $41 million. That's going to come through on June 2nd. There are 5 players that I believe the Silver and Black need to at least have that conversation of, you deserve a contract extension. We're going to do everything in our power to make it happen, but unfortunately, we might not be able to give a contract extension to everybody. Here's the thing. If the Raiders sign to any of these players to an extension, we're going to be making a video around it. If it's like a massive deal, hell, we would go live. I remember when I went live for Max Crosby's $98 million extension, and we do this from time to time. The bottom line is this. If the Raiders do a contract extension, we're going to make a video about it. And if it happens between June 5th to June 9th, it's going to be a Jeremy Chuggs takeover show. And to be honest with you, Jeremy does a lot of stuff that you guys don't always see. If he's the one in my shoes and he's live on here, y'all better show up for Chuggs. Hit that subscribe button because that's what the nation does. You got each other's back. So the way that I did this show is I ranked which players I'd offer extensions to, plus rank them in levels of importance, where we got to be honest with each other, right? Like the Raiders, they're about to have $41 million. They will have money to extend players, but we also want the Raiders to add a little bit of extra talent through free agency. So realistically, you're probably only going to be able to extend 2, maybe 3 players on this list, and the level of importance I have ranked from 5, working my way down to 1. In a perfect world, I'd give them all a contract extension. Here we go, number 5 coming up here on my list. It is Marcus Epps, safety for the Las Vegas Raiders. This was a great signing that the Raiders had last offseason, and I should mention every single one of the players that you're going to see will be a free agent next offseason. Started 17 games in back-to-back seasons, 17 with the Philadelphia Eagles, 17 with the Silver and Black this past season. In his first year, before he ever stepped foot on an actual playing surface in a regular season game, the Raiders named him a team captain. One of the things that Chuggs and I talked about with Epps when the Raiders signed him was we also have an Eagles guide here at Chat Sports, and Epps was a leader on that Eagles defense. An Eagles defense that went to the Super Bowl back in 2022. Well, guess what? Epps led that team in snaps in 2022, and it doesn't get talked about enough when a team loses its quarterback. You know, it's like people talk about it. The quarterback, one of the captains of that Eagles defense that really fell apart at the back end of last season, was Epps. And it doesn't surprise me that the Raiders had a great year. Also, Tre'von Moehrig took a step forward when you add a guy like Epps to the rotation. Now, does he do anything spectacular? To be honest, no, he doesn't. Marcus Epps to me on defense is like if you've ever played in a video game with Mario where he's like not great at anything, but he's just really good at a bunch of stuff. That's what Epps brings to the table. He's a great teammate on and off the field. He's a great leader on and off the field. He can help you out in the run game. He can help you in coverage. He can play up near the line of scrimmage. His versatility is why I love the fact that the Raiders went out and got Epps. And he's 29 years old. Like, I get it. He's getting up there in age at least a little bit. But with the contract extension that I'd be willing to offer him, 29 years old, it's not going to deter me away whatsoever. Because what I'm looking to do here is tie guys in with Max Crosby. Every single contract extension that you're going to see today ties them in with Max Crosby. Max has got 3 years left on his deal. So for every contract extension that you're going to see today, I'm going to go, you know what, Max? You're going to be a Raider for life, and I'm going to make sure we got a hell of a defense to surround you with all of that. So if the Raiders can only extend one player this offseason, I got to know. Who should it be? If you can only give some money, one contract extension, the answer to this is going to be the person that's ranked number 1 in my video. Before I reveal that, though, let me know down in the comments section below. One of the things that I really wanted to do, though, is not only say, hey, this guy deserves a contract extension, I'm also going to give you the extension offer I would give him. I'm not saying this is what AP is going to give him. I'm not going to say it's what Telesco is going to give him. I would offer Epps a 2-year, $15 million extension, $12 million fully guaranteed, which puts his new deal at, when you consider anytime you're going to see the parentheses on this video, the new deal, it is incorporating the money that he has this year plus the contract extension. So essentially, we would get Marcus Epps at about $7.4 million per year. Every single offer that I am giving is based on the most recent signings, extensions for players at their certain positions, age, all of that is incorporated. This is a fair deal for both sides. Let's go to number 4 here on my Raiders extension candidates list. I'm going to go Tre'von Moehrig, another safety. And here's the thing. The Raiders might have to choose between one or the other. If it was up to me, I would actually figure out a way to tie both of these guys in together because of how good they played in year 1. And my expectation is if they played this good in year 1, then hell, they better play even better in year 2. Moehrig has started in 47 games in his first 3 years in the NFL. Let me say that again. 47 games, first 3 years in the NFL. This is somebody that won the Best Defensive Back of the Year award, a player that I thought should have been drafted in the first round, and you finally saw last season flashes of, hey, he's starting to understand the defense. He got thrown into a bad situation with changing defensive coordinators, got thrown into a bad situation with head coach and Josh McDaniels, and his coverage skills greatly improved last season. And if he improved that much in 1 year, if he takes that next step, guys, I'm not kidding you. When the Raiders originally drafted Moehrig, I thought he has top 5 safety potential. And last season, he started to show it just a little bit. His PFF grades, they prove that. This is another all-around safety. Somebody, when he was at TCU, could do everything. And he can do everything. He can cover. He's not afraid to go up against the run. And you need guys with this type of swagger also on that defensive side of the football to be rocking that shield after all. So my extension offer that I would give Moehrig is also very similar to what I would give Epps. Now, the contract that I would give Moehrig is going to be a little bit higher than what I would give Epps because Moehrig is younger by about 4 years. And usually when a player is like 25, 26, they're not going to take a 2-year contract extension. But with the new age that the NFL is, maybe he'd be willing to do it. And his new 3-year deal would look something like $20.1 million. That's about a $6.7 million average over the next 3 seasons. However, I'm willing to give him a little bit more guaranteed because he's younger, because I want him here a part of this organization. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, we got the top 3 Raiders extension candidates. And I think for people that watch this show a lot, you probably already know which direction I'm going to go. You just don't know how I have them ranked. I'll tell you who they are here in just a second. I got to give a shout out, though, to our awesome sponsor, Prize Picks. And the NBA Finals are right around the corner. The NHL Finals are right around the corner. And I'll be real, Chugs and I live down here in Dallas. And the fact that the Mavs are in the finals, the Stars could be in the finals, there's a lot of attention around these teams right here. Some people are like, Mitch, I'm from California, or hey, I'm a Raiders fan. I don't care about that stuff. I get it. But I'll also say this. If you're a sports fan like me, I'm going to watch every single finals game for the NHL, for the NBA. Why? Because I love sports. And if you love sports too, then I'm telling you right now, it's the perfect time of the year to get started with our sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. All you got to do is just go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, download the app today, use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. The finals mean more on Prize Picks. So do the star players. You get boosted payouts on select basketball stars you won't find anywhere else. For my first game that I have here, which is going to be on Thursday, so again, you're going to have a little bit of time, like 6 days, to be able to get your Prize Picks going as well. This is what I'm rolling with. Luka Doncic, 30.5 points. Give me the more on that every single day of the week. This guy is playing at an unbelievable level right now. Daniel Gafford, give me the more on 6 rebounds. I know, Lively, he brings a lot of fire. He's a young player, but I'm curious to see. I think Gafford could be a very interesting matchup in this series. And then Kyrie Irving, 4.5 assists. I almost feel like I'm taking candy from a baby. 4.5 assists for Kyrie Irving. This is an easy all-more option. And if you want to take my picks, Go for it. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Just make sure that you use code CLNS. I think the reason why I love Prize Picks the most is because I never feel like a loser, where I'm going to watch this game anyway, okay? And when you watch a game normal, and then when you watch a game when you got some money going with Prize Picks, it takes it to a whole nother level. Like, the seriousness that I am for, like, a Raiders Madden sim is how I am with a game that's going on with Prize Picks. I give lots and lots of shits when I got some money riding, and I think you guys will too. Because chances are you might not be a Mavs fan. Chances are you might not be a Boston Celtics fan. But you know what you are a fan of? Winning some money. Win big money. Choose more, choose less. It's really that simple. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Shout out to them for hooking up the nation. And shout out to them for making my days a little bit more fun when Raiders football isn't happening. Let's go to number 3 here on our Raiders extension candidates video. I got Nate Hobbs at cornerback. And just to be honest with y'all, the only reason why I got Nate Hobbs ranked higher than Tre'von Moehrig and ranked higher than Marcus Epps is because of the position. I am a believer that finding a cornerback, even if he is a slot corner, is more important than safeties in the NFL. And Hobbs is one of the best slot corners in the NFL. Hell, you heard Max Crosby say it the other day on his podcast. He literally said, Max Crosby said, Nate Hobbs is the best slot corner in the NFL. I'll take that with 2 grains of salt. One, what do you expect Max Crosby to say, the leader of this organization? But I'll also say this. If I'm giving out money and I'm giving out contract extensions and I want to make sure that Max Crosby is happy, a guy that was literally said, I shouldn't say he literally said, but he did say that he'd be willing to be traded from the Raiders, a team that everybody knows Max Crosby bleeds silver and black. Everybody knows that. But Max said that's the best slot corner in the NFL. If you're Tom Telesco and you're Antonio Pierce and Max Crosby went to bat for you to help you get the jobs that you have, and he says that, and you don't at least think about giving this guy a contract extension, I'll say it right now. Shame on you. Hobbs can play inside. He can play outside. He's not afraid to get after the run. The only red flag that I legitimately have on Nate is the fact that he's unable to stay healthy. And he started 31 games in his career, a young career, a player that I am not afraid to sit up here on this show and say I was wrong on. When the Raiders drafted Nate Hobbs, they said it was a bad pick. That's a big old L on my forehead that I am very happy to represent. Hobbs had a little bit of a bumpy road at the end of the month, you know, with the whole Ruggs thing. Then he got into a little bit of a situation at the end of his rookie season, but he's got it together now. Like, he is a leader on this football team. He is everything that I want in a Raiders corner, and he's a hell of a slot corner at a very young age with a lot of athletic ability. Give him a contract extension now. See if he can figure it out, because if he hits the open market, I think he's going to make a little bit of extra money. So my extension offer that I'm going to give Hobbs is 2 years, $18 million, with $13 million guaranteed. The contract that I kind of base this off of is Byron Murphy, where Hobbs is not going to get money like an outside corner. Anybody thinks that he's going to get an outside corner money, you're wrong. Byron Murphy, also 25 years old, good slot corner, got a contract very similar to this. If I'm his agent, I'm just asking for a little bit more, which is exactly what I put on the table here. 3 years, 21.4. You're getting Nate Hobbs for the next 3 years at $7.1 million, which means then he can hit the open market somewhere around 28 years old. It's pretty good for Nate Hobbs. Let's go to number 2 here. It's Robert Spillane at linebacker. Now, I get it. Some people are like, Mitch, I thought you said linebacker's the least important position on defense. It is. And I'm not afraid to say it. But the reason why I have Robert Spillane ranked higher than Marcus Epps and Moehrig is because, and also ranked higher than Nate Hobbs, it's because of the mentality that Robert Spillane brings. I have been told by multiple Raiders players, and I've been told by multiple people in that locker room, that the person that matches the mentality of Max Crosby the closest is Robert Spillane. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I hear that, and I'm just like, I can't believe I didn't rank him number 1. The only reason why I didn't rank him number 1 is because he's a linebacker. But, like, you saw early on, the mentality, the work ethic, the fact that AP's throwing out terms of green dot right away, linebackers coach. Like, it's just all adding together for me. He's coming off a career year. He had the highest coverage grade according to PFF for linebackers that played the amount of snaps that Spillane played last season. And another player that I was not happy when the Raiders went out and got him. And another happy, I was wrong. I'm not afraid to admit that I was wrong, because this guy was phenomenal. He was one of the best linebackers in the National Football League last season. I want guys that when they put on that shield, they wear it with a sense of pride. And when you get a player that goes out there and breaks his hand and the week later plays in a game, has a pick against Zach Wilson in a game that really helps you really continue to go forward, continue to show that Antonio Pierce is the right guy to have the job, you need these type of players to change this mindset of the Raiders. The reason why there's just like this extra, I think people are excited to go back to work. People are excited to get there in that locker room. It's because of guys like Max Crosby. But then Max Crosby also feeds down to Robert Spillane. Robert Spillane is a leader. Robert Spillane is a leader. And I want to tie Spillane and Max Crosby together as long as I can because that mentality, it's contagious. And you're seeing it time and time again. So the offer that I'm going to give Robert Spillane here is 2 years, $19 million, $12 million guaranteed. Again, very similar to other middle linebackers in the NFL that have recently been paid. And for a guy like Spillane, this is more money that he's ever been offered in his entire career. I think that he deep down thinks, you know what, I'm going to make more money here in Las Vegas, a team that I've been really rocking with, than I have a chance making with a lot of other NFL teams out there. So technically he's going to be making $8.1 million per year over the next 3 years, which is a little bit more than I'd like to spend on a linebacker. But when you bring the mentality that Spillane brings, and that feeds down to a lot of other players in that locker room, it's very, very much so worth the money. Before I tell you who's the most important player to extend this offseason, we got to give a shout out to the Noti Gang, man. And I mean this. I love the Noti Gang. These are the people that in the month of May are still watching our show, still trying to be first in our comments. If you're like, Mitch, what's the Noti Gang? It's people that are subscribed and people that get in the comment section when I drop a video. That matters to me because I'm a person where if I text somebody, not that I want you to just, answer it right away, but I want to know that you see it and you acknowledge it. The people who I text right away and they answer immediately, those are my people. And these are my people as well. Urza, Jaime, basically the king of the Noti Gang. Mad Vet Raider, Ron Raspberry, and Martin. I love you all. Salute to you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of that Noti Gang. If you want to see yourself on a future video, hey, join it. Let's go to the number one player that the Raiders need to figure out a way to extend, and it's Malcolm Koonce at defensive end. The reason why Malcolm is number one is because if he hits the open market, I'm telling you right now, he's going to get a lot more money. And if you want to talk about the way it's the easiest way to save money in the long haul, here's your opportunity. Because the amount of money Malcolm's going to get if he hits the open market, and the only reason why that I say that is because, The only reason why that I say that is because you look at Spillane, Nate Hobbs, Epps, and Moehrig. If they hit the open market, compared to what they would get on the open market compared to the contract extension, I don't know if it's all that much different. The one player, and we all have high expectations for Malcolm, if he gets 8, 9, 10 sacks this upcoming season, guys, I'm not kidding you, he's going to make $15, $16, $17 million per year because that's what edge rushers get. I'll also admit, I'm not going to blame Malcolm if he doesn't want to sign a contract extension. If he's willing to bet on himself and knows deep down that he can make more money in the long haul, I'm not going to blame him. However, though, if I'm the Raiders, I'm trying to look out for me, and I'm trying to look out for this organization, and I'm trying to figure out a way to lock in this young man who's under 26 years old, who had 8 sacks in the final 9 games of the season, somebody that showed you can be a leader. Like the fact that Patrick Graham's thrown out the word that he got giddy, for PG to say that Malcolm Koonce makes him giddy almost makes me want to say giggity. You know what I mean? Like, he's already shown you that he can be a leader, and that's a big, big thing if you're going to give a contract extension. I'm not giving extensions to guys that are me guys. I'm going to give a contract extension to somebody who's already helping out younger players, and it's been something that Patrick Graham has literally been talking about, that multiple coaches have talked about this offseason, that Malcolm Koonce is willing to do. Awesome. Let's give him some money. Let's figure out a way to keep this guy in silver and black, because if you miss your opportunity, like, you might overpay. This might be a little bit of an overpay. I'm not going to lie. It might be. But if he puts up 8 sacks again, it's not even close to an overpay. It's not even close to an overpay. So the deal I'm going to give him is 2 years, $24 million with $18 million guaranteed. His new deal looks then a lot like 3 years, $25.6 million. Malcolm Koonce this season is going to make about $1.6 million. And if I'm the Raiders right now, I'm okay even if the Raiders say, hey, I'll give you 2 years, 26, 2 years, 28. It's a little bit of an overpay, but I'm okay doing it because of where I think Malcolm is going to be going in the long haul. Based off what he's done so far, overpay. If you think he's going to be... Chugs is shaking his head, not an overpay. So even Chugs is telling me I'm low-balling Malcolm Koonce a little bit, which tells me that that's a damn right decision that I made him number one here on my Raiders extension candidates. Now remember, all 5 of these players, they deserve a contract, okay? But maybe only 2 or 3 get one. I don't know. Now, if a guy like Max Crosby, who I'm telling you right now, I've already heard from people, is probably going to renegotiate a contract a little bit, like you saw him get that $6 million bonus, he could be somebody that renegotiates his contract. Devontae Adams could be somebody that renegotiates his contract. And if the Raiders can make money around, then honestly, you might be able to give all 5 of these guys a deal. And I went all 5 players on defense because, quite frankly, we need to build this defense. And I say that because the offense is going to be the offense. If you don't have a quarterback, it's hard to really build a great offense, but you can win with the offense that we have if we have an unbelievable defense. And if you believe in defense wins championships, which I do believe Antonio Pierce and a lot of people watching the show believe in, hell, I believe it too, but like, you have the opportunity to do it. You have the money to do it. And the reason why I did all the 2-year extensions again, Crosby got 3 years left, and I'm trying to show Max, hey, you know what? We're going to do everything we can to build the best defense we possibly can as long as you're willing to stay here and rock with the silver and black. This also gives Antonio Pierce and Telesco a 2 to 3 year window, which is what I think that they deserve.